Good afternoon to all. So today we will be seeing the AWS based ML development. And first I will tell you what is happening in the ML so far. And now AWS and other cloud based like Google and all, they have started to allow us to use their cloud services for developing our ML models. Okay, so using these things, we can quickly develop our ML models with a high accuracy. And finally, I will show you some small demos how we can use those models and incorporate in our particular application. So before we start, we have to see the two types of ML apps. So first one is the local ML app and second one is the cloud-based ML app. Okay, and what is local ML app is, there will be a ML model which will be collecting data from various sources, and then some clustering or classification regression like that task will be performed, and finally we will be getting one conclusion. Okay, and where in the cloud-based services, what happens is the data will be absorbed by a device, and that device will send the data to a cloud service, and from that the machine learning model will be running in the cloud service itself. Okay, so here the device will not run any machine learning service, whereas the cloud is fully responsible for this machine learning task. Okay, so once the task is completed, the result alone will be reverted back to the client, and the client can display whatever the result that is needed. So there are some advantages of this cloud-based thing. So the first one is it will be less power. For example, I will give you a real-time thing. In some apps, it will be required that we have to capture our Aadhaar card or driving license like that, and then that app should first detect that Aadhaar card. Okay, whether we are scanning the Aadhaar card or some other card, we don't know that. So first one is we have to identify that Aadhaar card. Then we have to extract some information from Aadhaar card, like name, what is the Aadhaar card number, like that. So if all the things are performed in our mobile phone itself, it will have more power. Okay, so whereas the scanned copy can be sent to one cloud, and all these operations will be performed in the cloud itself. And finally, the result alone, okay, this is Aadhaar card and this is number, this is name, like that. The result alone, if it is sent back to our phone, then there will be less power consumed. Okay. And then high accuracy. Why high accuracy means, in machine learning model, the problem is the data. Okay, so how much more data we have, that much high accurate the machine learning model is. So if we use cloud-based services, they like AWS or like this, so they have plenty of data and their machine learning model is very high accurate. All those using the plenty of data, they have trained the machine learning model, and okay, instead of developing our own thing, so their model will be high accurate because they are using plenty of data to train those models. And third one is the updates. Okay, so when they have new data or they come across some optimizations like that, so they will do in the cloud side itself, and our mobile phones and other devices no need to do update again. And this is generally for a cloud based thing, that is we are going to pay only for what we are using it. And finally, since it is a cloud-based application, the hardware and what the things they are using, it is very high end, and it is much faster than what we will do in our normal device or normal laptop. So in this session, we are going to see some introduction about all these things. So first we'll see Poly, which is used for text-to-speech conversion. And then there is a service called as Comprehend. And this is NLP task, okay, NLP related service. And next, Textract is there. And this Textract is used to extract some documents. Okay, so we'll have some written documents. So that written documents will be converted to digital text. And then translate is there. So this translate is used to convert one text from one language to another language. And finally, recognition is there. So this recognition we'll be giving one image. So in that image, how many objects are there and where it is located. So this can be read from this particular service. Okay, so first we'll see what is poly. Okay, so before we start, we have to have one AWS account. Okay, so this is very compulsory. And in AWS, we have to create one user. So I am going to navigate to IAM. So in the left side, you can find one option called as users. So just go to that users and click add user. Okay, so here let me give one name. So already I'm having some couple of users. So I will give a new username called as U5. Okay, it is any name, it is up to us. We can give anything. Okay, then in this options, so this one is very important. Okay, so we have to make sure that we have clicked this one. So this enable this U5 to access the services using programming access. Okay, so we are going to do one Python program in which we'll be using all these services. Okay, so this is very important. So now we have created a user and then we have to set some permissions. Okay, so this AWS is having lots of machine learning services, among which we have to tell this user should access only these particular ML models. Okay, to access those ML models, we have to set that permission. So this I will tell you while covering this one. So while we cover the Python program, okay, so click next as of now, and now next. Okay, now create user. Okay, so now our user has been created, right? So now we will be having two things. One is this access key ID, and another one is this secret key. Okay, so you should not relieve this secret key to anyone, because based on this secret key only we'll be able to access. So this one should be very confidential. Okay, so if you leak this one, then there'll be some privacy issues. Okay, so they will use other persons will use your access ID, and while we see in the PPT I show you, it is cost effective. Okay, so how much you are using, that much bill it will be there. So if other persons are using without your knowledge, then you will be charged for that. Okay, so don't relieve this secret key. Now we have to download this CSV file. Okay, so this CSV file will have two things. One is this access key and the secret key. Okay, access key, no issues. Anyone can, you can give it to anyone, but this secret key you should not give to anyone. Okay, so just copy this one and paste it here. Okay, so I will rename this as b.csv. Okay, it is stored in my local drive. Okay, so now we are going to read this CSV in our Python code. Okay, so I am using pandas library now, right? So this pandas library, you might have known this. This pandas library is used to read the CSV files, and there are two information. The access key is present in the this column. Okay, so there will be a column called as access key ID. So in that column, that key, that access key will be there, and along with that, one access secret key is there. So that is present in the column name as secret access key. Okay, so these two you have to read, and I am saving this as separate variables. Okay, and this one I am passing to one client called as Boto tree. Usually when you install Spider or Idle, this Boto tree will not be available. So you have to use pip to install this one, right? So there is one documentation available for this Boto tree. So here you can see how to install this one, and okay, what are the services available. So all these things are available in this website. Okay, so once you install Boto3, you have to create an instance for this. Okay, so for creating instance, you are going to pass three things. Okay, this one is also compulsory. I will tell you later. So as of now, you have to pass three things. The first thing is the access key and the secret key. Okay, and the region name in which you are going to access that particular service. So these three things you have to pass. So along with that, what service you are going to use that. Okay, so first in the PPT we'll see how we can use this text to speech. Okay, so that is we are having some text. I'm going to convert the text to speech. Okay, so for that there is one service called as Poly. So in the documentation, to search Poly, and you can see how to initialize Poly. Okay, so these are the two lines in which you can initialize Poly. So that is, you have to import a Boto library, and these codes are used to read a CSV. Okay, so in the documentation you can find that only Boto3.client Poly is there. Okay, so in our Python code you can observe that along with that we are passing these three information. Why? Because there are two ways in which we can perform, we can access this AWS. So one is using external thing like this. Now we are doing using external. We are writing a Python code and we are accessing that. And there is one more way, that is there will be a SageMaker. SageMaker is also one service. Okay, so within AWS itself we can create some Python notebooks, and you can create endpoints from that. Okay, so that is different topic. So now we will see how we can access these services outside the AWS. So when you access outside AWS, you have to give these three things additionally. Okay, so when you are using SageMaker, then these things are optional. Okay, you can delete all these things. So now we are using this AWS outside AWS services outside the environment, right? So it is compulsory that we have to give all these things. Okay, so now I am going to use Poly service. So Poly is, we have to give the service name as Poly. Okay, so as per the documentation, so Poly we have to give additionally three more elements I am giving. Okay, so that is because I am accessing the service outside. Okay, and here you can see lots of methods are there. Okay, and the method that we are going to use is synthesize speech. Okay, so this method we are going to use. So just click on that method, and this is the syntax of that method. Okay, so what we are going to provide, all these things we are going to give like this. I'm just copying that one and pasting in Python code. Okay, so now these are the list of parameters, but all the parameters are not required. Okay, so some parameters are optional. So in this session, since 1 hour is there, so I am skipping all the optional things, right? So this one is optional, and this one is also optional, and output format is compulsory. Okay, so now let's generate one MP3 file, right? So this one I am deleting. So sample rate also not required. And this text represent what text we are going to convert to speech. Okay, so let me give one small sentence. This is the sentence. This sentence I'm going to convert to speech. This is in text form. Okay, so let's delete this one also. This is optional. Now voice ID is also necessary. Okay, so there are lots of voices available, different voices available in AWS. So we can use any one voice. Okay, it's up to us. So let me use the first voice and show you what happens, right? And before executing this, I told you in the beginning, we have to set a permission. Okay, so I have created a user called as U5. Okay, and this U5 doesn't have any Okay, this U5 doesn't have any permissions as of now. Okay, so first we have to enable the user U5 to access Poly service. Okay, Poly is one of the service, so that can be done by click this add permissions, and you will see three options here. Okay, so you have to choose this one, existing policies, and if you type Poly, so you will find one option called as Amazon Poly full access. So you have to tick this particular option. Okay, and click next, add permission, and OK. All right. So our Poly service permission has been added to U5. Okay, so now U5 can access this Poly service. So let us come back to this code. Okay, so see, this is the text and this is the voice, and output form is MP3. Okay, so now I am running this code. Okay, so our code is successfully run. So let's see what is present in this response. Okay, so response, you will find one dictionary. So in this dictionary, so there is one key called as audio stream. Okay, so this audio stream is our required text to speech service. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so this I'm going to create one. Okay, so I'm going to create one file here. Let me call output.mp3. So in that file, the text will be converted to speech and it will be stored here. Okay, so let me do that. First I will create a file. Okay, so f is equal to open. Okay, so make sure that you open in binary mode. This B represent binary mode. All the outputs will be in the binary format. Okay, so you have to open using binary mode. So now we have created output file, and then let us write this audio stream. Okay, so we have to write this audio stream in this file. Okay, so f dot write. Okay, so this can be accessed using response of. So this audio file we have here. Okay, this is a function called as dot read. Okay, so this will read all this streaming thing. Okay, so this will read all this stream, and we are going to write in this file. Okay, so you can see some number is coming. So this number represent how many bytes has been written here. Okay, so finally f dot close. So you will find one file here. Okay, so if you run this, okay, so what text we have given, that text will be converted into speech. Okay, so that is the Poly service. So any doubt you are having? Yes, any doubt you are having in the service?
Sir, Ashok sir, actually the participants are muted. So, like at the end of the session, I'll unmute so that they can ask the queries. In the
Okay,
meantime,
okay.
if they have any queries, they can raise their hand so that I can unmute them, sir.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So, participants, in the meantime, if you have any queries, please raise your hands. I'll unmute so that you can clarify the doubts.
Okay. So the next service that we are going to see is component. Okay. This component is used for NLP related task. So here in this session, we will be giving one review text, and we'll be finding that review text is positive or negative or neutral like it. Okay. So that is why this service is used. So before that, let me show you this documentation. Okay. So to use this service, not only this service, any service we have to set a permission. Okay. So before that, let me set a permission. So click add permissions. So here in this policies, so I have to give full access to that. Okay, I have set the full access. Now you can see two services are there. Okay, two services the user U5 can access. Okay, so now let me do one thing. Okay, I have opened one. Sorry, I have opened one page, Amazon page. Now I will copy one review. Okay, I'm copying this review, and let's see this review is what is the sentiment of this user. Okay, so using AWS, right? So I am storing this text. So let me show here. Review is equal to. Right. So I have copied that review and I have pasted here, right? So this what method we are going to use is. Okay, so we are going to use the method called as detect sentiment. Okay, so this method will accept one string, and then we can able to find what is the sentiment of the string, whether it is positive, negative, or neutral, like that. Okay, what user's feeling on that text. Okay, so we have to use this method. So I will delete this one. Okay, so you have to remember, you have to change here also. Okay, because we are using poly service, we have used poly service. Now we have to change the service. Okay, so if you scroll up, so it will be there. Okay, so what text, how we can create the service, it will be shown. Okay, so I'm copying this one and pasting here. All right, so we have created a client. Okay, we have created one service. So here we have created a review text. Okay, so in this detect sentiment method, you can see two things are there. One is what is the text. Okay, so the text is nothing but review. The text is review, and what language the text is, that you have to give. Okay, so our text is of English language, so I will delete all these things. And this is the code. Okay, so while we run this code, okay, we can see what this response is. So response, okay, here, so when you print this response, you can see there are four things. Okay, positive, and this is the rate, a positive rate. Okay, negative, this is the negative rate, and the neutral stat of this, and mixed means a combination of all these things, right? So out of which you can see this mixed is having highest percentage, so we can say that this text is neither positive or neither negative, like it is having mixing of all these things. So like this we can access this service, and we can find what is the sentiment of that review. Okay, so the third one is textract. This textract is used to extract digital text. Okay, we will be giving one handwritten note. We are going to convert that handwritten note into digital text. So I will give you one, I will show you what we are going to do. So this is one small scan document. So you can see it is written in handwritten. Okay, so this handwritten we are going to convert to digital text. Okay, so how we are doing that one? So before proceeding, we have to add this service. Okay, so let's add extract here. Extract full access is there, so we have to add this one. Okay, so extract is there. Okay, then go to the documentation and let us see how we can create this extract instances. Okay, so the first one is we have to create a extract client. So we have created a extract client like this. So then okay, so we'll be using a function called as detect document text. Okay, so this function will accept a document and it will analyze what the text in the document and it will give the output. Okay, so let me copy this one. There are two ways in which you can give an input. Okay, so first method is you can give the document as a byte array. Second one is you can upload a document in S3 bucket, and from that S3 bucket you can give the link. Okay, so automatically it will be converted to byte by default, right? So now what we are going to do is we have to upload the image as a byte array, right? Let me delete all these things. So this is the image file. See this is the image file. This contains some handwritten notes. Okay, so I'm going to read this image file. I'm going to read this image file in byte format. Okay, so open the file name. Now the mode will be RB. Okay, RB. Then it should be dot read. Okay, I am passing this entire file information as a byte array, and finally I will close this file. Okay, so let me execute this. Okay, so our document has been uploaded and we got the result also. So let's check what is the result. Uh, let's see what is the thing in this response. Okay, so this response is having one big dictionary. So let me find what are the keys available here. Okay, so response dot keys. Okay, so the keys available, and our text will be stored in this blocks. Okay, there is a key called as blocks. The required text are stored in this particular dictionary. Sorry, this particular key. So let's see what is the content of this. So response. Okay. So these are the contents. Okay, so this blocks is having lots of elements, and only some elements is having this text. Okay, so we are going to see which element is having the form text. Okay, so I will run a for loop. So it is better to use a for loop here for I in response of blocks. So here I'm going to check whether this text is present in this block. Okay, so that is if okay, so if a element text is present in this blocks, I'm going to print that element. Okay, and here you can see whatever the handwritten notes that is converted into digital form, and I'm going to I'm able to read that one here. Okay, so this service is extract service, and so the next service is translate. Okay, so we'll be having one sentence in one particular language. and we are going to convert that into another language. Okay, so I will show you how we are doing that. Open the documentation. So here, service what we are going to use is translate. So before using this service, so what we have done previously is we have to add a permission, right? So click add permission. So here, okay, so translate full access is there, and we have added permission. Then we have to create a client. Okay, so just copy this translate and paste it here. So we have created a client now. So second one is, so in this one, we are going to use the method called as translate text. Okay, so translate text accepts, this is the syntax. Just copy the entire thing. All right. So here also, not all the things are compulsory. So this one is optional. So we can delete this one, and this one is also optional. Okay, so only three things are compulsory. First one is what is the text that we are going to translate, and what is the source language, and what is the target language. Okay, so here one important thing you have to notice, this is a language code. Okay, not a language. You should not write English like this. Okay, suppose I'm going to convert one sentence from English to Tamil. So I should not write English Tamil like this. So that code of English and code of Tamil I have to give. Okay, so to find a code, just you can go to Google and type okay AWS translate. All right. So this is the demo page. So here you can find a list of languages that are supported by this translate. Okay. So the language code of Tamil is TA, right? And let me find the language code of English. So English is EN. Okay. So this code I have to give. So EN and TA. Okay. So let me give some text like this. So this text will be converted from English to Tamil. Okay. So let's run this code. All right. So this is the content of response. What we need is response. So inside the response, there is a key called as translated text. Okay. So that translated text will be the required text. Okay, the required conversion of that English language to Tamil or whatever language you have chosen, right? So finally, we'll be seeing this recognition service. So this service accepts one image, okay, image, and in that image, what all objects are there that will identify, and it we can use this for validating some images or digital documents or like that. Okay, so I will show you one demo. Okay, so this is one Aadhaar card. Okay, some sample Aadhaar card. So let us extract the Aadhaar card number and the name of this person. So this this Aadhaar card is stored in this file name is aadhaar.jpg. Okay, so I will delete all these things. So I will open this file name. The file should be opened using binary mode. Okay, so I have to give RB, right? So before we start, let us add the services, sorry, the permissions. Okay, so we are going to read recognition. full access. Okay, so next come to the documentation. So let us create a client first of all. Okay, there are lots of methods are there. So the method that we are going to use is detect text. Okay. Okay, so this is okay. 1 minute. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, so just copy this one and so this is optional. I will delete all the optional things. Okay, so similarly, we can access this service both using our local storage as well as S3 bucket. Okay, so we'll be using our local storage. This file name I am going to give here. Okay, sorry, not file name, the content of this file. So f dot read. Okay, so finally, let me close this file and execute this one. All right. So let us see what is the content now. Okay. So this is a very long output. Okay. So let us see what are the keys so that we can shorten this one. Dot keys. So it is having 3 keys and we'll be using this particular key, text detections. Okay. So let us see what is the content of this. All right. So in text detections itself, many things are there. Okay, many elements are there, and we are interested in the particular word. Okay, so that is detected text is there. Okay, so this one is what we want. Okay, so we'll run a for loop. So you can see what is the content of that particular document. So everything will be converted into text. Okay. So this format will be fixed no matter how many order cards are there. This format is fixed. So if you want to read card number, so you can read 1 minute 7th line. Okay, so you can read a 7th line to get the order card number. So like that you can perform this operation using this text.